front of a microphone. I'm very honored and very humbled to be recognized, but I have to tell you that it takes on a special significance to me personally, because this award comes right behind Bob Collins getting the first Humanitarian Award. And I had the distinct pleasure of serving for over 25 years with Bob during his years as the executive director of the Red Cross chapter, and learned a lot from him. He's a very inspiring and motivating person, which is especially significant if you know Bob, because you know of his thick Boston accent. And in all those years, I never understood a damn word he ever said, but I'm still proud of the work that we did. Also had the opportunity and the pleasure of working with a couple of other mentors for 30 years. Those of you that know Roland Weeks, who was my boss at the Sun Herald, Roland set one of those bars for community involvement that you could never reach, but it was very motivating to try to get involved. And Glenn Nardi, who is our current publisher and my current boss, has continued that tradition and continues to be an inspiration. And then also, for 36 years, I've been amazed at one woman's ability to manage a business and a home and a very deep involvement in the community, and that's my bride of 36 years, Margie, all of whom are here tonight. So thank you all very, very much, and I appreciate it. Let me just say one thing about the Red Cross, because I know you came here to watch Big O dance and not listen to a speech, and I'm looking forward to that too. But as the video said, and as Carrie said, and Joe and Joe both said, we all know that when a big disaster happens, the Red Cross is going to be there, and there are going to be thousands, as there were after Katrina, thousands of volunteers, and literally millions of dollars poured into a community. But that money comes from a national disaster fund. Over 125 years, the Red Cross has established such a reputation that when there's a disaster, people willingly give. But the small disasters, those 100 or so single-family fires that this chapter responds to every year, those isolated floods and tornadoes, those disasters are as big to the victims as Katrina. But they don't get a lot of attention, and therefore they don't raise a lot of money. But this chapter has to respond. The Red Cross has a federal, is a federal instrumentality, and it has a federal charter, and it's required to provide certain services. So Joe Hufstetler and Joe Ferruccio as chairman don't have the option of saying, hey, we're out of money, we're not going to be able to help people after this fire or this flood. The chapter has to respond, and that's why we have these fundraisers. What's nice is that the Red Cross makes giving fun. Next month is the second annual Bob Collins Celebrity Golf Tournament, October 15th at the Grand Bear. $75 to play. You get a great day of golf, great food, great pleasure, great enjoyment. If you play like me, great tour of the woods and the sand traps. But not only will you have a good time and get your money's worth, you're going to help pay for one of those very expensive mannequins that are used by the Red Cross chapter in their CPR training. And we know from history that out of every CPR class, somebody at some time is going to save a life with the CPR training they got at one of these Red Cross classes, and they got to practice on one of those mannequins that you help pay for by paying them around the golf. Tonight's event, this is what's going to make sure that the shelters that we open, the cold weather shelters that will open this winter, when the weather gets freezing, that should we have another storm where the shelters there will have fresh cots and linens and those delicious MREs. It'll be sure that the volunteers get the proper training. What keeps this chapter going are events like this. So just by being here, you've kept this chapter alive for another year. And so as a not only a volunteer, but more important, as a resident who may need Red Cross help someday, thank you for being here. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you for whatever you donate through the silent auction. And Andy Osler, wherever you are right now, Don, I don't know how you expect to top yourself year after year after year, and event after event after event, but you always do. So to you and your committee, thank you for making this all possible. Now let's have some fun. Thanks.